East West football, man. We got a mock draft going on. I mean, it feels like it's mock draft 6.0, but it's actually East West football's first mock draft 1.0, right? We've been seeing everybody's mock drafts, and we it's kind of hard, right, to kind of keep up with what we see, what we read, what we research. So we just decided to come together and put one together for you guys. And who doesn't love a mock draft?
Everybody loves mock drafts, man.
Kendall, if you say you don't like mock drafts, something's wrong with you, Kendall.
No, why not, man? We all like marks, and hey, who knows? Hey, so we might have the correct mark up here. We did show some favoritism with some of our teams and whatnot, but I think about half of it probably can be right, half can be wrong. But hey, it's a mark for a reason.
I mean, I think pretty much like almost like 80% of it we might have wrong. I'm just saying because it's really early still. I mean, Harvey, it's what 27 days till the NFL to the 2023 NFL draft.
Is it 27?
Well, I mean, you've been putting a countdown.
It's 28.
I saw Darren Woodson, right? It's 28 Darren Woodson days until right because we're Cowboys here.
A few Thursdays from now, the Carolina Panthers will be on the clock around this time. It's crazy.
Yes. Let's get right into it, man. Look, we had a little bit of fun. I know this one, the first pick is the hardest pick, I think, for all of us. I said just put Bryce Young on the board. You know, I think right now his hype. I think right now that's the most important thing that we need to realize is that when it comes to the NFL draft, it's about the hype that you can create. If your hype is high, the most likely you're going to get drafted pretty high. I think look at what is it, Travon Walker, right?
Yep.
I mean, kicking off last year, his name wasn't really popping off. It wasn't until the combine, right, Kendall, which is something that next year all of us will be at the combine, right? We
Yes,
said
sir.
we already that is a goal for the East West football is to meet up all there at the combine and be able to, see exactly what it is to be able to explain the experience. But look at Trayvon Walker. I mean, his hype went from a second rounder to the first pick overall in last year's pick, and I mean he has great upside. He looks like he has a great future. But let's talk about it. Carolina Panthers, they traded up to make this pick. Obviously, they're going for their franchise quarterback right now, Bryce Young. His draft type is high. Now, I went ahead and pulled the trigger on this one, guys. Do you guys agree with Bryce Young being the first pick overall?
I do, but I would assume that the Panthers would go with Stroud because I think McCown likes Stroud. I
Yeah.
think Frank Reich like Stroud. I've heard the owner likes Bryce Young or whatnot, but so they might be split there. And like I said, we're a little less than a month from this pick actually happening, and then in less than a month we'll know what they really did. But in mock perfect, it is a mock. Bryce Young looks like the pick there.
Let's go right to Texas. CJ Stroud, which is the guy you're talking about. Harv, what do you think? How do you think this would fit in with the Houston crowd, right?
I don't know, man. I think CJ Stroud's going to the Panthers, honestly. And in reality, if it was the Texans, I think they would take Bryce Young, in my opinion.
Wow. So you think we could just flip-flop those two picks?
Yeah, I honestly think that. But at the end of the day, I think they'd be happy with CJ Stroud, to be honest with you. I think CJ Stroud he'll be fine, man. Either one really fits both, to be honest. I don't think you can go wrong with any one of those.
Let's get right into it. The Cardinals, they went with Will Anderson Jr., the edge rusher out of Alabama. I mean, regardless of, people want to say that he's undersized and whatnot. Kendall, we've seen the stats. The stats don't lie. This guy puts pressure on quarterbacks like there's no tomorrow. And in fact, Harv, wasn't it you that pointed out that he actually puts in, he had, what was it, like 100 more pressures than every first round defensive end taken in the last 5 drafts, right?
It's pretty crazy, man.
Troy Bosa's, everybody.
It's a crazy amount. It's like 250 something or something like that. It's pretty crazy.
I think with him, he's the consensus pick of out of all the mocks I done seen. Will Anderson going to the Cardinals. That's about everything that I've seen. Is that number 3 pick is almost the top 3 is always about accurate and done. But I don't see so many mocks in that Will Anderson. That's the pick.
I mean, unfortunately, we understand, and we're going to be very respectful. But let's go ahead and move down, and we'll talk about the next prospects. And we understand because Jalen Carter coming into it, he was a for sure top 5 pick. But sometimes some things happen in life we don't understand why, but they do, and that happened to Jalen Carter. Let's go ahead and move down. Picking 4th, we have the Colts picking 4th. And here, believe it or not, the Colts actually pulled the trigger and they select Anthony Richardson. Wow. He had his pro day today. Kendall, what do you want to say about his pro day today?
Oh, magnificent. Wow. Like, I'm running out of words. Like, he was throwing passes on his sitting on laying on the ground basically.
Yeah, for 30 yards, man.
Yeah, like that. I seen one pass hit the top of the floor, the roof, or whatnot. Like, it was just, I think he did it on purpose, though. I think, me personally, but it was like he looks happy. He looks like he looks confident too. I didn't see him a little shaky, whatnot. He looks confident. I think it's a good pick for the Colts, but boy, has his stock really rising because I didn't think he'd be a first rounder.
For sure. Look, hey, Black Mamba chiming in. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, Black Mamba? We did our own mock draft, so let's see if it works out.
I know, Harvey. This is your guy right here, Anthony Richardson. What do you got to say about Anthony Richardson?
No, and I told Jerry way before, back in January, I believe, and I told Jerry, hey man, this guy, right now he's not a starter, but the potential and the ceiling he has, I think it's unbelievable, man. He's just got to he's got to be in the right system with the right coach, I think, and I think it's unlimited, man.
I mean, not only that, but he has this, like, afterwards they're talking about it, and it's what you said, Kendall. It's sportsmanship. I think Bryce Young was the first one to hit the actual what is it? I don't want to say the tarp, but the top of, he hit the ceiling basically.
Yeah.
So, but let's go ahead and move down. We had the Seattle Seahawks. They went ahead and pulled the trigger on Jalen Carter. Yep. Now, overall, I mean, gentlemen, when we look at the Seahawks, we're looking at a team that surprised everybody last year. I mean, what was it that was really missing? The interior of the defensive line, right?
Yep.
And if they get a guy like Jalen Carter, I mean, now we got some problems.
Because they're in the West, man. They got to stop that run of the Niners.
Look at Black Mama. Tell me you didn't not take a tight end. Laughing out. Black Mama knows what's up because Black Mama's she's part of our Cowboys, the Cowboy cast. We love her so much. Let's go ahead and move along. But hey, Jalen Carter would be a great addition. I hope things work out for him. Now we're talking about Walter Striger's beloved Detroit Lions, and this one they have that luxury, right? I think that Brad Holmes has done a phenomenal job building this team up, and damn, that offense is lights out. Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
Yep.
If that defense can match the offense, you're talking about
it's gonna be tough, man.
You're talking about potential. You're talking about the potential being the future to the NFC North through the Detroit Lions. Who would have thought, right? Look at this. Black Mama's already saying, I love Detroit's pick. That man is nice, right? Christian Gonzalez. I mean, because he fits the bill. The height, the play, and of course the speed, man. I mean,
I think he's just overall, he's just, man, like, what can you say wrong about Christian Gonzalez? Like, other than he doesn't intercept the ball much, but because they really don't want to throw it over there.
That's a good point.
He's so sound.
Gonzalez, Cam Sutton, still got Okuda on a rookie contract. Detroit, I'm telling you, man, they're nice. They can add Gonzalez there.
Hey, their unsung hero from last season was their rookie safety that they drafted, right? Which was Kirby Joseph out of Wilson from Illinois. I'll tell you this: they fix that back end. That gives them a little bit of luxury to fill in the holes with whatever they need within the defense in the middle of the defense. But going with the Raiders, right? Oh man, I mean, this was too tempting for me personally. I think that the Raiders do need a new identity. For whatever reason, it's kind of hard because we know that they need help rebuild. They need a defense. They haven't had a defense in how many years now, guys? I mean, both of y'all.
Some years.
It's been at least 10 years that they have not had a solidified defense, right? But is there one player there that could fix the defense with this pick? No. So, obviously we already know there's the five picks that you should really focus in when team building, right? Quarterback, offensive tackle, wide receiver, defensive end, cornerback. And Raiders go with Will Levis. I think, what do you guys think overall? I know, man, if Walt's here, he would tell us exactly why we should stay away from Will Levis.
Yeah.
But tell me why I should feel good about Will Levis.
I think for the Raiders, it's the best quarterback left on the board so far.
Yeah.
Everybody else
Yeah,
is gone, and that's all I have to say about that pick.
I think that's what it comes down to, man.
He has an arm, right? He can get a little bit. He can push the ball 65 yards down the field, which is good, right? All right, let's move it along. Falcons going with Tyree Wilson, the edge rusher out of Texas Tech. Now, he's not your typical name that's going to make a lot of noise, but I will tell you this: he has a lot of buzz going on, especially with mainstream media and, of course, your local, draft, scouts, your local scouts. They talk very highly about Tyree Wilson. But let's go to the Bears, right? The Bears actually were the ones who had the first pick, but they got down here, and they're solidifying their offensive tackle with Paris Johnson Jr. I think it's a good pick. The Eagles, man, I think they bit a piece of that humble pie right here. I think that Nolan Smith really has started to climb, and at this one, it was kind of like, ooh, what do they need to do? But it's easy, right? I think that edge rusher.
And he said he wants to go to Philly too. He said he feels good about going to Philadelphia. Match made in heaven.
Their edge rushers are 29 plus years old too. I mean, literally 30 years old.
They have Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, and Nolan Smith all from Georgia. So
Georgia, that's going to be a reunion, man.
I think it's a match made in heaven, and I hate it for our Dallas Cowboys.
All they would need is Ringo on corner later on.
Look at Black Mama. I was hoping he was ours, just wishing. I know. I wish he didn't run that 4.39, but he did, right? Look, Nolan Smith to the Eagles. She hates it. Yeah, I hate it too. Hey, going down with the Titans though, right? The Titans are kind of they're kind of the enigma team of the entire NFL draft. Is that easy to say? Yes or no, guys?
Yeah, it's kind of weird how they just started AJ Brown and then they hired a new general manager, and it's just everything is just, hey man, it's like a fire sale.
Are they tanking? Are they rebuilding?
I don't know if they're tanking, but I think they're trying to keep certain players, obviously. But I'm just surprised that Simmons is trying to be traded. I don't know if that's true or not. But that's weird, man. He's such a great player, but at this point, if everybody's being traded, then I guess I wouldn't say it's a rebuild. I think it's just fine tuning, in my opinion.
Makes sense. It makes a little sense, but they needed a quarterback at that pick. It's kind of I think a quarterback you're kind of pushing it at pick 11, don't you think, guys? So Lucas Van Ness, I think his draft hype is building up, and like we said, the draft hype is what's going to get these players drafted higher than what they should go. Let's go to the Texans. Texans pair up
CJ Stroud, baby.
Jackson Smith-Njigba. This is my guy right here. I don't know if you guys know this. I love Jackson Smith-Njigba. He's a dog, man. I love this guy.
So be honest with this pick, I think it just makes complete sense, man.
Yeah.
They have rhythm. I don't think from day one they don't have to try to get that chemistry together and find out, hey, where do you like the ball? I like the hole. This is where I like it in the zone. I think it's just perfect, man. I think they go in day one. Yeah, perfectly. So I think this is a great pick for the Texans.
I've tried to sell this to Kendall about why he's such an awesome wide receiver, but with this guy, he is literally the quarterback's best friend. Well, you know what? He's been CJ Stroud's best friend for these many years, and I think if you can pair CJ Stroud with Jackson Smith-Njigba, I really do think that will allow DeMeco Ryans to really hone in his skills and fix that defense and make sure that they come out on top on the AFC South.
Then they got John Mitchell coming back next year and Nico Collins. So
correct. All good stuff. Picking 13, the Jets, man, the surprise. This is another surprise team along with the Seahawks last year, right? I mean, the Jets kind of almost gave the entire AFC East a run for their money. Kendall, yes or no?
They did. They did. They got all that talent on defense. Offensive line has some issues on the offensive line, has some injuries at the running back position. Trying to get Rodgers now, trying to get OBJ. How you can protect Rodgers in so Rodgers can get the ball to OBJ and Lazard and those people. He'll go out and get your tackle, Roger Jones.
Black Mamba says the Titans are going to trade Henry.
No, they're gonna go, let him go or trade him, right?
Yeah, I can see the Eagles taking Jackson Smith. Whoa,
yeah, I don't know about that one.
Black Mamba, they have a lot of good wide receivers.
They do. I don't.
It's kind of hard. I mean, you never know with these pesky Eagles, man. They're always trying to copycat.
Yeah.
They're always trying to copycat the freaking team. But let's go ahead and move along, right? The Patriots, the New England Patriots. That's your team, Kendall. Announce the pick.
With the 14th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Joey Porter, corner out of Penn State.
Let's go. Round of applause for Kendall, man.
I like it, Kendall. I like it.
I was going back and forth. I was going back and forth from Joey Porter, Quentin Johnson, Jordan Addison, but I said we can address wide receiver and offensive tackle later. Let's go get that corner. We need some height. We need some height back there in that secondary. Joey Porter.
Hey, you guys do need to fine tune a couple of things, right? And like you said, I think for Bill, I'm gonna say his name right this time, right? I've said Bill Parcells how many times? Bill Belichick, right? I think Bill Belichick has earned his right to let us trust him and what he does in the offseason to rebuild his team every year. I said it right though, right? Bill Belichick, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The Packers selecting Peter Skoronski, man. This offensive tackle, I mean, some people say he can play guard, he can play offensive tackle, but we've seen with the Packers, they definitely what they need to do is they need to get younger on the offensive line. They've been spending their first round picks on defense for the last 5 seasons now, so it just makes a ton of sense at this point. Even though wide receiver, there's so many ways they can go. They could have gone Michael Mayer, they could have gone Dalton Kincaid, but Peter Skoronski makes a lot of sense.
I think at the end of the day too, if Love's gonna play, man, they got to protect that dude.
Yeah, and they got to get the running game going first to help him out, right? The Washington Commanders. I'm sorry, that's a Cowboy cast thing for you guys. What did she say? Let's see here. That is a good pick. All right, I would take him. All right, cool. So the Washington Commanders select Devin Witherspoon.
Good. They need a corner.
They need a corner.
Makes a ton of sense. It would. I think that with Devin Witherspoon, he's another guy that has that draft type right now, really high on him. It's crazy how, when we look at it, these prospects can really help themselves out with the combine, and I think that's why Christian Gonzalez is just a slight edge over Witherspoon because his stock has been high. Picking 17th, man, the Steelers are, believe it or not, guys, the Steelers are picking a cornerback in the first round. Stop me if you've heard that before.
Lost Cam Sutton, missed out on Joey Porter, son of Joey Porter. Didn't get Christian Gonzalez, so Deontay Banks, best corner left on the board.
Hey, I like Deontay Banks. Hey, real quick, Kendall, Black Ball wants to clarify. She was talking about the Joey Porter pick to the Patriots. She loves it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Loves it. So Deontay Banks, there's a lot of great things that you can say that you can like about him. Some people don't like him. I think that number one, he has everything, the attributes that you look.
He fits that Pittsburgh Steeler, man, like hard work, toughness. Like I don't know, it's a great pick for them.
And it could probably solve that problem that they had at defensive back for many seasons now. Picking 18th, the Lions. I know if Walt was here, he probably wouldn't let us pull this trigger, but
Trenton Simpson,
linebacker. The thing is, the Detroit Lions need a linebacker, and damn, Trent Simpson it is. They got Christian Gonzalez with their first pick, and they got Trent Simpson. I think that instantly these players make that they can actually start for you on that.
Real good draft for Detroit so far.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, I think I picked this pick, and I think the reason being is because they get their corner, they get their linebacker, and then they got, I believe, the 34th pick in the second round, somewhere there. They can go defensive tackle.
They can. And there's going to be some defensive tackles there that anybody would love to take.
This might be an all defensive draft for Detroit.
Yeah.
look at Blackwell. You really think Bichon's going to Tampa? Let's talk about it. Picking 19, the Buccaneers, man. The Bucs need help. They lost Tom Brady, one of the greatest GOATs of all time, right? Respect. Yes, Leonard Fournette. That he's not coming back. I know they drafted Rashid White, but there's not a player like Bijan Robinson right now. He really doesn't need an offensive line. This man can make his own lanes. That's how talented he is.
Yeah, I think with the receivers you got, the tight ends you got, you get this running back, and then it's going to help. Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask, whoever's going to be the starting quarterback. But I think a great running game is going to help out your quarterback. So I believe in this pick. I like it.
Myles Murphy going to the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, it sounds like something the Seahawks would do, right? Which is solidify their defensive
line. Yeah,
I think if you add, like we put Jalen Carter earlier with him, and you put Myles Murphy with Boy Mafe, their defensive end from the year before. Now you got a solidified defensive line that can match it, right? Because their offensive line actually is low key a really
pretty good. It's actually pretty good. Yeah,
they hit on them 2 picks last year, and just like I said about Detroit, all defensive draft. This could be an all defensive draft for Seattle too.
I think Kendall. Tell me if I'm wrong, but if you look, they take Jalen Carter, they take Myles Murphy here. They're solidifying their defensive line. They're playing in the West, man. Those Niners, they love to run the ball. Yep. So I think these 2 picks, man, make a lot of sense for them.
I mean, that defense is instantly good. Like you said, those corners are pretty good too.
Pretty good, yep.
The Chargers going Jordan Addison, man. I think that it just makes a lot of sense, especially with Kellen Moore. We know he likes to pass the ball. Jordan Addison looks like he has some nice footwork. Good luck to him there in Charger land. The Ravens going Brian Branch. Stop me if you've heard the Baltimore Ravens selected another defensive back in the first round. I mean, it looks like it just sounds like a Ravens pick.
And then you're talking about putting them with was it Hamilton?
Yeah,
oh my
Hamilton.
God.
Uh-huh.
Them 2 in the back there, Kendall.
Woo.
And you know a little bit about the Ravens, right? I mean, you're from
yeah.
I mean, that's your.
But I'm just saying, man, with him and Hamilton, and I think a lot of people are talking about Brian Branch can also play corner.
Yeah.
So he's versatile, man. At the end of the day, yep. So I think it's a good pick.
Black Mamba says that the Buccaneers should trade for Derrick Henry, and that's a great pick for the Chargers. He is good. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Jordan Addison, my guy.
Let's move along, right? The Vikings are going to go ahead and pair up Quentin Johnson with Justin Jefferson. Now, me and Harv, we've had this conversation about Quentin Johnson, and I think me and Harv have come to a consensus that if he was to fall to 26, right? Because me and Harvey, we're Cowboys. It's okay, but we wouldn't be opposed to a Quentin Johnson at 26, right? Because we don't need him to be the number one. We just need him to take the pressure off of whoever's opposite of him.
Yep.
If you look at what he's going to do for the Vikings, damn, I think that he actually has a future. And I think that if anything, Quentin Johnson is going to look like a star right next to Justin Jefferson. It just makes sense. Black Mamba says Minnesota needs a tight end.
And see
exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, and I think they can't go wrong with Michael Mayer here either.
Nope.
So either way, either Quentin Johnson or a tight end, I could see that going on. So either way, it's
or like
because they can always get a tight end in the second round.
Good tight end class.
It is a good tight end class. So picking 24th, right, was the Jags, and they went Darnell Wright, man. I mean, we talked about it. What was the one thing that why the Jags couldn't move past the Chiefs, right? And couldn't protect.
And then they lost Jawan Taylor to the Chiefs.
Yep. So check this out. They select Wright to keep Trevor Lawrence upright.
Oh, I like it. I like it. I love it. What do we got next?
Here we go. Let's see the 25th pick. Zay Flowers.
Woo, man. Hey, this makes a little bit of sense, right? Because it looks like they tried doing this with their former wide receiver they took in the first round. That was during the Micah Parsons. They had the opportunity. They could have stayed there, but no, they traded down and they got Kadarius Toney. And I think that when you look at Zay Flowers, this is your guy, Harvey. But I think this is like taking Kadarius Toney to another level. If you want to say anything about this young man.
Nah, man, he's he plays with toughness. He plays bigger than what he is. He's quick. He's fast. He plays angry sometimes. It's crazy. Like he has a chip in his shoulder. I just like him. Him and Josh Downs I love those two guys. But yeah, they get a good wide receiver, man. I think that's what they've been missing.
That is definitely for sure. Let's see who the Cowboys got selected, or let's see what's up next for the Dallas Cowboys.
With the 26th pick of the 2023 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Antoine Harrison, offensive tackle, Oklahoma.
I'm sorry, I got a little excited there. I got a little excited there, right? Because that's my team, but it's okay. You know, it's East-West football for a reason, baby. We're all lower in the world. But no, that makes a ton of sense right now. I think the Cowboys, honestly, they're in the best player available position, and I think that if you can add, you know, rebuild that offensive line, right? I think, Kendall, is this a consensus with you too? You can obviously see that right now the Cowboys' offensive line needs to match their defense.
Yes, they do. Got drafted Tyler Smith last year. Tyler Smith has been injury prone. I think Harrison and Dallas has really been over the years doing a good job with drafting offensive linemen.
Yes, they have. Black Mama says Quinn Johnson would be a good fit for the Patriots. What do you think, Kendall?
I love it. You know I'm a big Johnson guy.
Yeah, you're a wide receiver guy, man. Black Mama says nice. I love it. I will not be a Cowboys fan if they draft him. What? I would want an interior lineman. What? We got interior lineman. Well, I'm here thinking to myself, if you get Anton Harrison, then who's gonna go play guard for you? Is it Terrence Steele or is it Tyler Smith? Because Tyler Smith did a damn good job at left tackle last year.
I think it'll end up being Tyler Smith, man, playing left guard.
And you know what? He'd be an all-pro every year, all-pro.
I think that would be with this pick. Obviously, he would play guard, and Antoine Harrison can play. I think he can play left guard or right tackle.
O'Damian's on the tight end. You know, he's on the Dalton Kincaid, isn't he? No. Is he Darnell Washington or is he Dalton Kincaid? Tyron is starting right tackle. Tyler Smith going to be left tackle from what I'm hearing. That's exactly what we've seen. And it looks like they want to push Terrence Steele to the left guard. But if you want to find out about that, you got to tune into the Cowboy Cast. We'll be live on Sundays, right? Let's move along. The Buffalo Bills, they lost their linebacker this
Treadman. Yep, they lost him. That's a given, man. That's a given. You need a captain in the middle.
And he got paid. He got paid by the Bears.
Yep. But I think this is a good pick, man. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, Drew Sanders, he's versatile, man. Not only can he play linebacker and go side on side, but he can also rush the passer.
What do you have, 9 sacks this year?
Yeah, I think it's a great pick. What do you think, Kendall?
I think it's a great pick. I can see he looks like a Buffalo Bill. See him flying on the ball. Filling in for Tremaine Edmonds, and they still got Matt Milano, and that defense just add more speed to that defense, man. Good pick by the Bills. Can't go wrong there.
No, you can't. And the Cincinnati Bengals are going who? Jahmyr Gibbs? I mean, wait a minute. Why? Doesn't make sense. Kendall, make it make sense, please, because I'm the one who picked this pick.
Well, I think since they're in a unique position. They did sign Orlando Brown for the Chiefs and whatnot, so they try to get offensive line intact. They're listening to offers for Lionel Collins, so they might be trading or releasing him. I think if you're Bengals, you get the best player on the board. Ideally, you would like to continue to build around Burrow, might get an offensive lineman. But Jahmyr Gibbs, because I think this is last year of his deal. I've been hearing they might cut Joe Mixon. Yeah. So I think it's a good pick. Jahmyr Gibbs. He could be an every down back. He can throw it to him out the backfield.
I mean, let's talk about this real quick, guys. I mean, this would be scary. Harvey, yes or no? Jahmyr Gibbs and Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow.
Man, just another weapon. And honestly, depending on, what happens in the second round, think about it. You got Chase, you got Higgins, you got Hibbs. What if they get a tight end in the second round?
And that's because they just recently signed Irv Smith Jr., right? He was a second rounder with the Vikings. So I like this. Look at Black Mama. Nah, that's horrible. They need help on the offensive line. They do. But they just signed Orlando Brown Jr., which I think he will help solidify a little bit of what they have already in place. They still have some young offensive linemen that are coming together. But with Joe Burrow, he don't need no offensive line.
But I think they can also do that in the second round. But to give up Gibbs, man, I think they can still get a solid offensive lineman in the second round.
Oh, David doesn't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. No. We need to know why. Would rather them take more defense. You know, I think.
Yeah, because they lost both of their safeties.
Yeah, Von Bell and Bates.
Jesse Bates.
But you think a safety is worthy of taking the 28th pick right now?
It's kind of hard, right? Because that's the one class that hasn't made the most noise, which is the safety class. But I just think with Joe Burrow, I think the more weapons you can give Joe Burrow, it will help him out so much.
I agree.
Like O'Damian says, or best player available, right? Because he was just trying to add to would rather them take more defense. And he says, or take best player available. Like Mamba agrees with him. We all agree with you. And O'Damian says they should trade down. Let's go ahead and move down. Let's see what's down there. So the Saints they're adding more offensive line, right? Because they've done this for a while. They got a couple offensive linemen, but Osiris Torres, they got Derek Carr now. So I think it's about
they got to protect him, man.
Gotta protect Derek Carr, man. Derek Carr finally has a defense that he's never had before. And this is a team that could really come out of the NFC South as the NFC South champs. They have an opportunity, and this makes a ton of sense. I think just adding the fine tunes to your offensive line and allow your weapons to go. Who's picking 30th? The pesky Philadelphia Eagles, and I don't mean pesky. I mean the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm sorry about that. Eagles are selecting Cam Smith, cornerback out of South Carolina. Man, nobody's really talking about Cam Smith right now.
Nobody. He's a pretty solid corner, or whatnot. Not the fastest. I actually think he's better in zone than man or whatnot. So I think it's a good pick for the Eagles. Like I said, pretty sure you can never have too many corners. They did bring back Bradbury. They got Derek Slade back, but they're getting a little longer than two back there. Both of those are, I know Bradbury's almost in his 30s and Slade's like 32, 33 or whatnot. So, you need some youth at corner, good pick by the Eagles.
For sure.
And they signed Greedy Williams too.
Yep, Greedy Williams.
Black Mama says that to her, Buffalo needs another running back. I don't see what scouts see in Osiris Torres. I feel he is very mid-second rounder. Man, you know what? I would love him to be a second rounder.
Yep.
I think Steve Avila is way better, man. It's crazy, right? Because when we look at the PFF scoring system, and we look at this one, everybody's on board with Osiris Torres being
better than
the
Avila.
best guard. Yeah, the better guards right now. Out of even, I think if we look at it, I like John Smith, John Michael Schmitz. I think I like him.
But I'm with Old Domain. I like Avila better.
Oh yeah,
I really do.
But the thing with him is that he's played center, right guard, and right tackle. He's only been on the right side, so it's hard. It's going to be a little bit of a transition for him to learn.
Obviously, we went with best available according to them. So
correct.
Got it.
So let's see who the Super Bowl champs select. Josh Downs, man.
Josh Downs.
Now let me ask you guys before we end it right tonight. Let me ask you this question: with this picking 31st, technically should be 32nd, but Dolphins they blew their first round pick. Let me ask you guys: do the Chiefs have that luxury of being able to pick a wide receiver at pick 31?
They do. They lost Tyreek Hill last year to the Dolphins or whatnot, losing Juju this year.
Yep.
They went to the Super Bowl, didn't even really have a 1,000-yard receiver, I don't believe. Kelce was their biggest threat. Anytime you have a great quarterback like Mahomes, you don't have to have that guy, but you can keep missing on top talent. And the way I'm surprised he actually slides into the first round, Josh Downs. I think he's a pretty good player from down here in UNC. I think with Mahomes, you can get the most out of good pick by the Chiefs.
So O'David says, good pick by them, right? They lost Juju. I feel Josh can fill his spot good.
Yeah.
Like Mama, I agree. He is nice. And where did Juju go again?
New England
Patriots.
Hey, I just need that. Harvey, this is your guy. Please just tell Chiefs Kingdom why they should be happy about Josh.
Man, so this is the thing about Josh Downs. It's a little different than Zay Flowers, right? Zay Flowers, you can see every movement he does. It's kind of a little bit more exaggerated. Josh Downs, man, I always think about that song from, is it Birdman? Leather so soft, leather so soft. Like everything is smooth like leather, soft like leather, smooth like butter. Like he just moves. He just moves so with any effort. It's crazy, man. So, and he also plays bigger than what he is, just like Zay Flowers. It's a great pick for them, man. Great pick.
It is a great pick, and I think that Josh Downs can be their next Tyreek Hill. I think he has that kind of potential.
And don't forget, we ain't seen nothing out of Sky Moore. They got Sky Moore.
Yeah, Skylar Moore, man. That's true.
Yeah.
Hey, and that's because he was a lot in their backfield too, right?
Yep.
So he's going to be kind of like their. I think with Sky Moore, I think he's more going to be more of a. Could he be a next Debo? Right? Look, Black Mama. Wow, that's crazy. I think she was referring to Juju being there. But that's it for the East West Football's first 2023 NFL mock draft. I mean, normally we'd have Walt on here telling us exactly why we shouldn't go with certain picks and stuff. We're gonna have him on next time. But overall, guys, I mean, we'd love to hear if you're watching this on the replay. Make sure you leave a comment down below, subscribe. Help us grow this channel. We want to get 1,000 subscribers here on our East West Football YouTube channel. But definitely leave us a comment down below. And if you join us on our lives, make sure you comment and we'll bring it to light and we'll have a conversation about that. But that's it for us, guys. Anything else?
So it was a great draft, man. Hopefully what if it comes out just how we did it?
I'm not gonna lie, man. I feel confident in this thing compared to some of the other mock drafts. I don't know, man. I think it's actually pretty solid. So maybe we can post it somewhere so everybody can see it.
That would be that's actually something we can actually work on too. I'll tell you this much right now. You're absolutely right. We just did one with Dane Bugler, and his draft, it just started off so good, but towards the end, it looked like he just got lost. He didn't know what to do with it, right? But let's see what O'Damian has to say. I will see them draft D or tight end or defensive end or tight end. Honestly, I think they can improve their offense running a 2 tight end offense. That's where we were thinking about Dalton Kincaid, right? We actually had to talk about it. Woo! Alicia Mercado, right? Patriots are going to be good this year. Watch and see. Round of applause.
Yeah, the Patriots. Hey, Kendall.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Alicia.
Yeah, you're helping out my boy Kendall because he ain't the only Patriot here. Give me that hat, Javi. She's not gonna stop until she gets that hat. But that's it for us here on East West Football. We thank you for tuning in. Hey, enjoy your Thursday. We'll see you guys hopefully on Sunday, man.